Hello and welcome to the Reflective Rebels podcast. I don't know why I'm singing, but I just did a test to see if my phone was recording properly and I sang, so I thought I'd sing for you too. Anyway, the sun's shining, I must be feeling delirious. I am sat under a tree in the Tully House garden in Carlisle and just watching the butterflies flutter by while I record this. So just to tell you straight up front, if you are super duper rich and have all the money you could ever desire, please switch off now. This episode is not for you. However, if like the vast majority of us, money could be better, then this one is going to be for you. It's another experimental episode where one of the fabulous Rebels Collective has sent in some voice notes about something they're struggling with. And this all stemmed from the question, do I deserve lots of money? And Theresa posed that question, and then she sent me some really open and honest voice notes on how she feels about money and the impact that's having on her business. And I'm really excited for this one. I think it's going to make for a great episode. I think that because it's an issue that affects all of us, including me, our beliefs around money and the way that can hold us back. And hopefully there might be some inspiration here for Theresa, but there might also be some inspiration for you that could unlock something and make something really cool and exciting happen. I also want to say a huge thank you to Jen Sincero, who wrote a book called You Are a Badass at Making Money. It's one of many books that she's written, and it's absolutely fantastic. Some of the ideas in this episode have been inspired by that, and the activities that I mentioned at the end are directly from it. It's absolutely great, and I would recommend reading it if this is something you are dealing with. So we'll jump in. I'm not going to explain it anymore. We'll hear what Theresa had to say.
Well, hello. It only took me all day to eventually get this voice note done. So what are my thoughts around the question, do I deserve lots of money? I feel like I am in a space where I can't move forward. It's like there's a money block. And I kept thinking it was because it's maybe because I wasn't working hard enough, or my money block was something else. And then I realized that actually I feel like I don't deserve it. And I think that comes from my childhood. I don't know if you wanted this voice note so you could just use it for your podcast. But there's a washing machine in the background. Oh, such is the joy of my life. I feel like it's a childhood thing. There was always that whole thing of like, we don't have enough money, we can't spend. Certain aspects of what my dad is like meant that my mom she didn't have her own money, so she had to ask him for money. So there was almost that feeling of like, we don't deserve it unless he gives us money. And I think that is the block that keeps me from getting to the next stage of having enough money to live on. So not even like having loads and loads of money, but just having enough to live on. And the more that I've thought about it, the more I realize that it's this really deep-seated thing rather than just some kind of on the surface, I don't really deserve money. Like, it's a properly ingrained conditioned thing in me. How the hell do I find my way out of that? How do I get to the other side? How do I uncondition myself to not think like that? Because truthfully, I don't feel like I think like that, but I think it's in there, and my whole self feels like that. I just didn't realize that was the case. I have unlearned a lot of things in my life, so I'm sure that I will be able to uncondition myself from this way of thinking about things. Does someone have the key? Okay, hopefully that's helpful. Bye.
Wow, Theresa. First of all, thank you for sharing that. Thank you from me, and also thank you on behalf of our listeners, who I'm sure appreciate how brave that was to say stuff like that. And that's what I love about you personally, and I love spending time with you because you're up for it like me, to just call it out and say it like it is. And what you said is that effectively a belief around money that was shaped in your childhood is affecting your life now. It means you're struggling and you're not thriving. And that is true of all of us. All of us have these beliefs that were shaped when we were little as our brains were developing, and they affect the way we live our lives now. And that can be fabulous and amazing, and it can also be frustrating and holding us back. And like Theresa said, we can unlearn these. She's unlearned others. There are ways out. Now, I don't have a key. I'm not going to offer you a key in the next 20 minutes in this podcast episode. But what I might do is throw a bunch of keys at you and give you some ideas and give you some food for thought that's going to get you started on this journey towards living the life that you want. Because the thing is, you've got one fabulous, glorious shot at this life on planet Earth. And the good news is, like Theresa says, you can unlearn this. You've got everything you need right now to turn your finances into something that don't keep you awake at night, something that are creating fulfilling life that you want. But, and here's the but, you have to be willing to get really, really fucking uncomfortable. You're going to have to take some huge, uncomfy risks. You're going to have to do stuff that you've never done before. You're going to have to get out there and make yourself visible. You're going to have to know how absolutely amazing you are. And it's kind of diving into that, yes, terrifying, but wow, exciting phase of your life that's going to get you through this. You've got to risk looking like a complete and utter fool. And hopefully through some of the stuff I'm doing in the Reflective Rebels, the podcast and my social media and the things that I'm doing, trying and failing to run a burlesque networking event that no one ended up booking onto. Like, this is me trying to live that for you and show you what's possible. And this episode's going to be about examining your beliefs around money, looking more at Theresa's beliefs around money, and working out how we can all do more of this together.
It's been rather interesting thinking a little bit more in depth about these deep-seated money blocks that I have. I guess I've eventually realized that I have those, but more than that, I realized they were affecting my life. They were affecting my business, and also they were affecting me more than I realized. I think I still don't fully understand, and I also don't fully have the way to get out of it. But I think having that awareness helps. How it's affected my business, I think it's affected it quite severely. I still really struggle to make money. I constantly feel like I am only surviving, absolutely nowhere near to thriving. It almost feels like, why am I running a business? So yeah, I think it's affected my business quite a bit. Weirdly though, I do see my value and understand my value. So I charge I charge according to what I feel I'm worth. But then I see that there's also other aspects where I'm too scared to add the extra. So for instance, when couples need me to travel for their weddings, I will simply look up the actual price of that and charge them the price, and not give them a quote that includes, maybe a 10% extra, because I need to cover various other things as well. And I don't necessarily include it. I feel too scared to include that bit, thinking, oh, if it's too much, they definitely won't book me, when I already charge quite a good price, for my ceremonies. So I think a shorter answer is, yeah, I think those money blocks really do affect my business quite severely. And now that I recognize it, I'd like to change that, and I'd like to make it different. Figure out those blocks, get rid of those blocks, and thrive.
Thanks, Theresa. I mean, this is a great example, isn't it, of how our beliefs make our reality. You know, Theresa is talking about how she takes her internal story about money, her internal thoughts and feelings about money, and she's projecting that onto the couple who are buying. So yes, it's fantastic to watch her thought process there, isn't it? She feels like she charges her worth, but then goes on to say, and this is where the belief rears its head, in actuality, she is not charging for many of the things that she should be, for many of the things that inconvenience her, for the time that she puts into travelling to a ceremony. And for those of you that don't know, that could be travelling quite a long way, either nationally or even internationally. We're not talking about popping, down the road to a wedding venue or something. So you've got a classic example there of how Theresa's thoughts are impacting her emotions. She talked about fear, didn't she? I'm scared they won't buy. So her beliefs around money are creating emotions, and that's turning into actions. She's not charging for the things that she should be charging for in the way that she should be charging, and that is creating her reality, a reality where she's struggling and not thriving. And I'm not singling Theresa out here. She's been brave enough to share this with us, but that is all of us. And I bet if you reflect deeply enough, and perhaps some of us only for a second or two, you'll realise there are parts in your business where you are doing exactly that. You're holding back because of your beliefs around money. You're projecting how you think internally about it onto your customer, who might be thinking wildly differently. Because guess what, folks? Our beliefs are called beliefs for a reason. Other people's beliefs can be completely, totally different. And we have to recognise that. We have to get past that projection.
Actually, thinking a little bit more about it, I see on reflection that some of my money blocks are really obvious, but it's only me thinking of it or reflecting on it that I'm like, oh yes, I see that now. An example is if I have quite a lot of random ideas, and a lot of those random ideas I do have to put on the shelf in case I need it in the future time, because I can't do everything. However, some of them that I'm really keen on, and I'm like, oh my God, that I have a passion for it, I then let my mind wander along the lines of, yeah, but no one's going to want to pay for that. Surely, but how would I make? Oh, I'm probably not going to make money off it. It's almost sure that I won't make money. So why am I pursuing it? And so then I don't do it. So not only having a fear of trying something new at times, but then I also have that limiting belief of, actually, why am I going to try it if I'm not going to make money? Although I'm not money focused, but I see that I do think that way about some things. So yes, I'm excited to change that up.
Now we've opened up the floodgates here of Theresa's self-reflection and thinking, and what she's realised is it's not only the pricing where she's holding back because of these beliefs, so the one that we talked about before, but she's actually holding back new ideas, brilliant ideas that she's got that could change the world, that could make someone's life better, that could change her life. Like, the ideas are really good. And how many times do we have these ideas, these dreams? Sometimes they're tiny, sometimes they're medium, sometimes they're huge. But even often the tiniest ones, we're not doing it. We're not going for it. We're not taking those risks that I talked about. We're not willing to risk looking like a fool. And it's Theresa's voice around money here, her internal monologue that isn't her. It's not her. That internal monologue is not her, but it is shaping her life, and it's holding her back. Yeah. And then she picked up on her own language, actually, and she sent me one more voice note, which I think is worth hearing.
Oh my God. Me saying I'm not money focused. Maybe that's another one of my money blocks. Oh, God. I think I need some help with this. It's a story for another day.
That's so brilliant of Theresa to have caught herself there, and a sign of real self-awareness. It's one of the things I spotted as a coach because I spend a lot of time listening to people's language. But yeah, I'm not money focused. I hear that so often from the biggest? No, I'm not going to re-record this. You get the real authentic me. I hear that so often from the business owners I work with. I'm not money focused. I'm driven by something else. I want to help people. I want to make things better. I enjoy the work that I do. You know, I need money to survive, but I'm not here to get rich. And Theresa's example here is one of the biggest reasons we can get stuck. It's not a lack of ideas. It's not a lack of skill. It's not a lack of being absolutely incredible and amazing. It's about giving ourselves permission to become rich. And wow, what a loaded word rich is, isn't it? So, all of your money beliefs probably came rearing out there where I said that. Give yourself permission to become rich. And what I mean by that is being able to afford all the experiences and the things that are required to live fully your life. I'm not talking about Elon Musk level of rich, but having the money to do all of the experiences and things that allow you to live your life to the full, whatever that means to you. And I don't think you're there right now. I think you deserve to be there, and I know you can get there. But I think if you're honest with yourself, you're not thinking about getting rich, and you're not thinking about getting rich like that. Having a healthy desire to have money is not greed. It's the desire to live a full, amazing life on this planet that we've got. And Reflective Rebels, my strapline is life's too short to be shit. And it's that for a reason, because it's about living before it's all over. It's about living now. And if we don't get honest, like Theresa is starting to do, and like I have had to do, and I'm continuing to do, and I do with my clients, about the role money plays in that, and really look at our beliefs and around money and what's holding us back, because it's a really loaded, emotive topic. We're not going to create the life we want. We're not going to live now, because in reality, it will hold you back. So your beliefs, that's what we're talking about. Your beliefs make your reality. Your external world, the reality you're creating, mirrors your internal voice, your internal beliefs. But the good news is, because they're beliefs, they're not real. And you can make yourself believe other things too. You can reshape. Words matter. What comes out of your gob literally shapes your life. Theresa said, I'm not money focused. And then she caught herself. She said, right now I'm struggling to survive, let alone thrive. But I'm sat here thinking I'm not money focused. And actually what Theresa's realised in the space of 4 voice notes is those 4 words are perhaps at the root of what's holding her back. Now, it's important to recognise here that I'm not saying Theresa's beliefs around money are your beliefs. So, dear listener, if you are listening to this thinking, yeah, I sort of get it, but that's not me. Well, yours could be anything like money causes stress. Money's out of my reach. It's lonely at the top. He's only about money. It's polite not to talk about money. You can't be rich and be spiritual. Money's not important to me. It's people. Never go into debt. Save your money for a rainy day. If you get excited about money, it means you're shallow. It's really important to have a good, secure job. Who has that kind of money? Money doesn't go on trees. You can't make money doing insert whatever you want to do here. We all have these. I'm not saying they're all the same as Theresa's, but if you sit and think about it, you are going to find out that you have these too. So, this is your first bit of homework. You didn't know you were getting homework, did you, from listening to a podcast? But you are, whether you like it or not, and you are going to do it. You're going to finish this episode and you're going to write down some of your beliefs around money. You might want to go back and listen to some of that list and see if there's some that spark any emotion in you. I don't know if you can hear the seagull in the background being particularly noisy right now, just interrupting your homework. How rude. Maybe you could think about writing down 5 things your parents told you about money, or 5 things about your childhood and how that might have affected your relationship about money. But it's about you starting to get clear about what those things are that you believe. And you know what, just being honest at the moment, look, I know it's really hard out there for businesses, and I know it doesn't feel easy, some of this stuff, and making more money feels really hard, but some of that is because of these beliefs. And let me tell you, this is a fact. There is fuckloads of money out there in the world. The trouble is, it's in the hands of a small number of, and I'm getting political here, fucking dickhead rich white men who are hoarding it. There are very few of them hoarding lots of what should be ours, and we have to go out there and get some of that for all the right reasons. And this is what I want you to do. I want you to do your second piece of homework, and I want you to do this. I want you to get a piece of paper, and I want you to write at least 10 answers to the following questions. And this is going to be the start of you, Theresa, and you, dear listener, changing your beliefs around money and going out there and going for it and be willing to live the life that you deserve. So you're going to make 10 answers to these. Make 10 answers, write 10 answers. 1. Make a list of all the reasons you deserve money. 2. Make a list of some beautiful things that have happened in this world thanks to money. 3. Make a list of all the awesome experiences and things that money will add to your life. And finally, make a list of how you being rich will benefit others. Maybe this episode has given you a little bit of a flavour of what coaching can be like, because this is the process of coaching. This is awareness. So Theresa recognising that she's got a block in her way, and that block is her beliefs around money. It's about understanding. It's about putting those beliefs into context, the context of our own lives. Where have those beliefs come from? How were they shaped in our childhood? But also understanding that these are normal patterns, these are normal ways human brains work, and recognising there are things that we can do about it. So it's about awareness, it's about understanding, and crucially in coaching, it's about action. It's about going away and trying something bold and that feels scary to you, that will give you some evidence that counteracts your beliefs. And Theresa, my challenge to you is, just going back to one small example you mentioned, the next time you quote to do a ceremony, you're going to take your travel costs, and you're not going to add 10%, I think it is you said, you're going to double it. You're going to take your travel cost and you're going to double it, because you are amazing and you deserve it, and you deserve to be rich, and you're going to see what happens. And I bet you that client will still sign up. And for you, dear listener, perhaps you could think of one way you could challenge yourself this week to do something bold around money, to push your price, to try that new thing you've been holding back on, to stick something visibly out on social media, and to go for it. Because you know what, folks? Life is too short to be shit. I've been Ben Hickman. I think I am Ben Hickman most of the time. I am Ben Hickman. This has been the Reflective Rebels podcast, and it's another new experimental episode where we're taking one of the collective's innermost thoughts via voice note and bravely and boldly unpicking them. So it's not rehearsed, this, and it's not overly thought through. These are really just my thoughts in response to Theresa's voice notes. I hope you found it interesting, and I hope you go away and do something as a result of listening. I would love you to subscribe if you're not already, and to leave me a review. And if you have a question that is on your mind, or something that you would like to overcome that's blocking you, then perhaps you could drop me an email, ben@reflectiverebels.co.uk, and maybe you could be a future one of these episodes. In the meantime, take care, folks. Go out, be bold, and live your wonderful life.